From the second you gave me that tape, my life has been falling apart.
You assured me that this guy was legit.
You needed information. I thought...
Two, you're good. Hold position.
Three is good.
Our first movie is Enemy of the State, a complex, hyperactive thriller. So hyperactive, I wish I could have injected half the characters and maybe the director with a heavy dose of Ritalin. In the movie, Washington labor lawyer Will Smith unknowingly becomes entangled in a lethal congressional power struggle over legislation that would unleash the government's ability to snoop on the conversations and movements of all citizens. And powerful forces hidden within a government agency will stop at nothing, including murder, to get a bill passed that will give them all that power. And the agents believe that Smith's character has evidence of their foul play.
We have reason to believe that Mr. Zavitz may have passed sensitive materials to you.
What kind of materials?
Well, sensitive, so we're hoping that you could tell us that.
No, he didn't pass me anything.
These voice stress points indicate a really high degree of anxiety.
Anxiety about what?
John Voight plays a National Security Agency administrator who has the most to lose in this high-stakes game. To defeat Voight and clear himself of a frame-up, Smith enlists the help of a former NSA agent played by Gene Hackman.
Control, this is Air 1. Repeat coordinates.
105 Chambers Avenue.
You're transmitting. They still have a signal on you. Your collar, your belt, your zipper. Get rid of your clothes, all of them. And then what am I supposed to do? Nothing. You live another day, I'll be very impressed.
Obviously, Enemy of the State has a complex story. But this movie isn't about its story. It's about showing us high-tech eavesdropping toys in a barrage of furious, ear-splitting, eye-popping action scenes. What did the movie accomplish? And maybe this was one of its goals. Well, it threw in my face such an array of spying mechanisms that I no longer felt secure. And so maybe in some backdoor fashion, I ended up caring about the issue that fuels the story. But also, there was the good old Gene Hackman, sending off echoes of his great eavesdropping character named Harry Call in a better movie, The Conversation. So what you're getting from me is a mixed review. But if you twisted my arm, my thumb goes marginally up because I liked all the high-tech gizmos.
I liked them too, Gene, and I liked the movie too. I did not find it too noisy or too frenetic, certainly not after a movie like Armageddon, which I think set the standard in that department. This movie, to me, was fascinating because it seemed to know what it was talking about. A couple of years ago, I mocked some movie on this show where a satellite from space could look at license plates on the ground.
Oh, right.
But recently I went on the web and I was able to see the roof of my own house on a Microsoft site. So I think if I can do that, the NSA can probably see how much money I have in my billfold. And this movie was really scary in showing the willingness of the government to violate its own laws and to ignore its own laws in order to spy on citizens and to make them enemies. And we've seen that happening right now in Washington, where the power of the government allows individual citizens to be run roughshod over.
When Hackman popped on the screen, didn't you feel really good to see him?
I always feel good to see him, and I love the fact that his headquarters in this movie looks exactly like the rig that he had in The Conversation. I'm sure that was a reference.
Yeah. He has now achieved real senior beloved status in the movies.
He's a great techno-coot in this film.
You kill Hammersley, okay. I wouldn't have, but I understand the argument. But why the girl? Just to get to some schmuck that barely knows you're after him?
Schmuck.
We never had to deal with domestic. With us, it was always war.
You won the war. Now we're fighting the peace. It's a lot more volatile.
Does he take this long doing everything?
Standoff, détente. Now we've got 10 million crackpots out there with sniper scopes, sarin gas, and C4. 10-year-olds go on the net.